Hi, everyone, and welcome to our X39 patching podcast. This is our review and testimonial call. We're about 30 minutes on Thursday night. We're so excited that you're here tonight. If you were invited by someone, just thank them because they love you very much. You're going to learn about a new technology that has been life-changing to many of us. You're also going to hear real people with real testimonials about what the X39 has been doing for them. So just sit back and enjoy what you learned tonight. It's 30 minutes. We start at 6. We're done at 6:30. And with that, I like to say that Lifewave is not intended to cure, treat, or diagnose any diseases. And with that, Dr. Stacy, why don't you introduce us to our first guest?
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Marcy. I am so excited to have two wonderful ladies on here tonight to share their personal testimonials with you. I'm going to go ahead and get started with April. So April, I've asked you to unmute. Perfect. Okay, awesome. And April I'm so excited to hear from you. April's actually the reason why I'm involved in Lifewave, Marcy. She and I have been friends for almost 17 years. And so I really am excited for you guys to hear her story and what's happened with her through her lifelong journey and struggle with her health. And so April, give us a little bit of background information for everybody that's new to the call tonight. What's happened with you, how you found Lifewave, the X39 stem cell activation patch, how long have you been using it, and what have you noticed since?
Okay, well, thank you, Stacy, and thank you for asking me to be on the call and share my story. And yes, we're having a great time, and I'm honored to have you on our team, Stacy. You're amazing. So 20 years ago, I joined the health and wellness industry because of my children. They both have a severe blood disorder. They both have hereditary spherocytosis, which landed them in the hospital more times than I could begin to count, hundreds between both of them. Blood transfusions, removing the spleen, removing the gallbladder, many visits that were so scary we didn't know if we were going to come home for many years, from the time they were born all the way up until last year. So we have had quite the journey. They're 19 and 23 right now, so it's something that doesn't go away. They're immune compromised, so you have to keep an eye on it at all times, watch their diet. So over all those years, I think the stress and the worry and the anguish of having children that have these kinds of issues too of them, I thought at once I was diagnosed with lupus. And I thought, Lord, I don't have that. I tore up those prescriptions, but I was still having massive inflammation and issues. And I went to a functional medicine doctor, and I didn't tell her what I thought I had. She said, no, you have Lyme disease. So I thought I had that for many years. Nothing was getting better. I was getting worse. And y'all, I did everything in the world, tinctures, herbs. I was in a health and wellness company at the time, took all of their supplements, really good quality things over all the years. I exercise. I don't eat wheat, gluten, pork. I mean, many things. I was super healthy. But for some reason, we don't know why, we develop autoimmune diseases, I guess stress and many other reasons. So fast forward all the way to skip a lot of years in there, many years of suffering. I tried everything under the sun, went to many different doctors, all the while dealing with the kids' issues as well. And then we got COVID in December. And y'all, that threw me into an autoimmune tailspin, a flare that I couldn't get out of. That was out right after Christmas. My son, my daughter, and we all had COVID. And then it lasted about 2 weeks, and that was over. And then the pain ramped up by it was so high I couldn't hardly walk. I couldn't take a step. My hands were so tight and swollen. Shoulders, it was like I had frozen shoulder in both shoulders. Neck pain, it was brain fog, depression, constipation. I mean, you name it. Everything was just on full-on autoimmune flare mode. And then my daughter's wedding was approaching in April. I was still very miserable. I went to the doctor, asked for every blood test under the sun because I knew about all these things. I asked for CBC, CMP, C-reactive protein, homocysteine, fibrin. I asked for everything. I had a list. He said, well, this is going to cost you about $2,500. I said, I don't care. I want to know what I have. I want to know what's wrong with me. I've got to figure this out. It's driving me crazy. So he did that. He obliged. He gave me all the blood work that I asked for. And I went in about a week later. He said, well, there's one thing for sure. You have full blown, you're healthy, everything else, and you're so healthy except for one major thing. You have RA, which is rheumatoid arthritis, off the charts. And I got an emergency appointment with a rheumatologist, and she said, you're in 1% of our practice. I don't know how you're walking. She said, you are one strong woman to put up with like the pain, the inflammation. She said, what do you take? And I said, every herb, every tincture, sweating, walking, detoxing, great diet, everything. She said, wow, this is crazy. We need to put you in the hospital for a week. We need to do prednisone, because she said I even had nodules in my entire rib cage, hands, feet, wrist, ankles, everything. So I was leaving from that doctor's appointment, very, very troubled, crying, driving home. And a friend of mine called me from that I'd sent to a website to help her with her kidney issue. She called to let me know she bought those patches that was on that website that I sent her to. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. What patches? She said, well, the patches on that website you sent me. I said, okay, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, I just got a really bad diagnosis. I know for sure now I've got rheumatoid really, really bad. I've got some decisions to make. And she said, no, let me come over. You don't know about these patches. And I said, no. She drove over about an hour to my house, and I went to a restaurant actually on the interstate. We met off the interstate, and she put an X39 on the back of my neck. Right below that, she put our Aeon patch for inflammation. And then she gave me a couple Alavitas because I wasn't sleeping at all. And she just turned over the patches too. And the lady she called, she asked her what she should let me try. So those few patches, and that's where my story, the whole changed my life, totally changed my life. That night I slept, I dreamed. The next day, my ears were popping, things were changing because the stem cell activation patch was making such a big difference in my body. And I feel like since I was detoxed, I think I was ready to receive it because I didn't have a long way to go on for it to start maybe working in my body. I think that's why I got such really, really quick results. And then then it just kept progressing each night, things got better and better. The pain was less. I could step down off the bed and not feel like I was stepping on glass. I was everything, constipation, many, many years of constipation. If you've ever been constipated for a long time and you've done every kind of magnesium in the world, everything there's out there, calm drinks, whatever. I'm just telling you that eye issues, skin issues. I had eczema for many years, so many different things. And the patches, they've totally changed my life. And then I started reading. I was so intrigued by these patches. I had to go on YouTube and I didn't know anything about the company. And I just knew we could order these patches from a lady. That's about as much as I knew. And so I wanted to just go on YouTube and just start researching David Smith X39 energy enhancer. I started watching videos, and I was so impressed. I had to call a friend of mine. I had to call Stacy Hallwigger because I know she's had a child also that struggled for many years in a wheelchair with we've been praying for her for like 14 years, I believe, and for what had happened to her daughter Taylor. And then another friend of mine in Iowa, Charity, she was also struggling with mold issues and sinus and headaches, many things like that. And then I told another girlfriend of mine close by. And so I've just told 3 dear friends of mine that I thought needed this right away. I didn't know anything else about the company, literally didn't even know it was MLM, didn't care because this had changed my life. And I love MLM anyway. So it's just been, that was just May of this year. So May, June, July, August, September, and October. And I'm not taking any prescription medications. I was supposed to be on prednisone, Humira, blood work all the time, just another whole road, just another whole path. And so I'm so thankful to all of you, to God for dropping this in my lap the very day I was driving home from the rheumatologist. I mean, God is just amazing. Any the way this worked out, it's just changed my life, a financial blessing on top of my health. And at the same time, through all this, I lost my husband. He passed away. And so this has been, it's been quite the journey. Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you, April, from the bottom of my heart, more than you know. And I'm not going to cry right now.
I know.
I just, that phone call when you said I was in a wheelchair and my hands are just crumpled up in pain and I haven't slept. And she said, a week later, 1 week, and she said, I'm walking, I'm pain-free, and I'm sleeping. You have to get this for your child. I'm like, give me the site, I'll order whatever it is. I don't care. I'll take it.
Stacy did.
I did.
She said, girl, sign me up, whatever it is. If you think it's going to help, Taylor, you've been listening to that. I said, it helps brain balancing, Stacy. It's going to help. I was telling her all the things I was learning about the X39 and what it could do. And she's like, oh my gosh, how have we not heard about this company? I was, just totally floored that how Stacy and I have been very involved in health and wellness for 20 years. And how we didn't know about this. We were just like, how in the world? This wonderful gem of the perfect company with these amazing products in 81 countries. We were just, it came at the perfect time into our lives, didn't it?
Divine intervention. I am
Absolutely.
so happy for you, April. You're glowing amongst everything that you've been through, health-wise, physical-wise, emotional. I know what that's like emotionally and mentally to deal with, a child that is, that has health issues, but to, have then the loss of your husband. So that I just can't even imagine, but, we have all wrapped our arms around you and covered you in prayer and your family. And we love you so much and really look forward. I appreciate you being on here tonight and sharing your testimonial with us. And we definitely will have you come back again in a few months and share even more that amazingness that's happened with you. So thank you so much, April. I appreciate you. I have appreciated you for 17 years. I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you, Stacy.
You're welcome. All right, let's take it over to Sue. I asked to unmute Sue. You want to unmute yourself, Sue? There we go. Wonderful. Welcome, Sue. Welcome tonight.
Thank you.
So much like April, I don't personally know you though. So I would love to hear just, your background, what you have dealt with health-wise, and how long have you been using the X39 stem cell activation patch? And then what have you noticed since? What are your changes?
It's been a wild ride. I've actually been very healthy pretty much my entire life, with, a few little bumps on the road. But in July of 2020, I got COVID and I was down for 8 weeks. Didn't have to go to the hospital, but, came through and was finally able to go back to work. But I tell you, the mental fog, the fatigue, for months I would go to work, come home, and I was in bed by 7, 8 o'clock. I just couldn't function beyond that. And then I was, Anne shared some patches with me. We were talking and she was telling me about the patches and I'm like, wow, I'm really interested. That sounds great. And she shared some with me, the X39 and the Aeon, because I do have arthritis. So I put the patches on, the X39 and the Aeon, and I go to work and I do home health. So I'm on the road a lot, I'm driving. And I just remember driving and it's like, wow, I feel so alert. I feel like I have energy. And I just went along my day and it was great. And I came home that night and I was talking to a friend on the phone and I guess I was making some noise and she's like, what are you doing? Like, I'm cleaning the bathroom and it was 10 o'clock at night where I usually would have been fast asleep. And it was amazing. And I do struggle with arthritis. I have hip pain, knee, back pain. And I was getting to the point where it was really a struggle to dry my hair in the morning. Like I would have to take breaks because my hands hurt from holding the hair dryer and trying to hold the brush and style my hair. So I'm getting ready in the morning and I'm just drying my hair. And it's like, I'm not having any pain. And it didn't click for a while. And it just like, oh my gosh, And at the point, my back is like 99% pain-free. My hips are 99% pain-free. And I'd say my hands are like 70, 80% pain-free. It's amazing. You know, when I'd get up in the morning and hobble to the bathroom and I find myself, I'm getting up and I'm walking like a normal person and I'm not hurting. Wow. I mean, and I've only been on the patches for 3 months.
Okay.
And and the initial energy and clarity, I swear, came in the first day or two. And then I remember I was driving. That's what I do. And all of a sudden I could see it. Everything was brighter because COVID had affected my vision. I mean, and I'm like, everything is crisp and clear, and the sky, everything was so bright. And I just kind of like, oh my God, my vision is back to pre-COVID. It's not perfect yet, but I'm hopeful. You know,
wow.
Where is it going to stop? But that was huge. I mean, I almost started crying driving down 249. It's like, oh my gosh, I can see. And not that I couldn't see when I was driving, but it was, back to where it was. So that is just amazing. And with COVID, my blood pressure was it started spiking, and I ended up in the emergency room with a blood pressure of like 220 over 110. And I have never had blood pressure issues. And through using the X39, after about 2 months, I'm like, oh my God, it's 106 over 68. And it's huge. It's huge. It's amazing. And I confess, I went on vacation last week and I got out of my routine and I wasn't wearing my patches for about 5 days, and it started going back up. That was a little object lesson that I didn't plan on. But, my goal is to never be without. And it's just amazing the things that are happening, because I've had stomach issues since I was I said, I don't have any health problems, and I'm listing all these things off. But I've had stomach issues since I was junior high school, and I just always have that bloated, uncomfortable feeling. You just get used to it. You don't even notice it after a while. Well, I woke up one morning, it's like, my stomach doesn't hurt. I feel not bloated. I feel great. So it's like little by little things are happening. Like one thing gets better, then another thing, then another thing. So I'm just really excited to see where it goes and excited to share with everybody.
Wow. Thank you so much, Sue. I love that you said you've been healthy pretty much, except for your intestinal little bloating there issues, but you've been healthy up until COVID. And we know so many people obviously have had that flu. And so it's done a lot of damage to people, much like yourself. And to hear in just a matter of days, things change. But I also love that you shared, just like April, that compound effect over time, that you would notice little things. That's why we recommend you keep a diary, write things down, have a health tracker that you're keeping track of, because to have clear vision and to be able to walk to the bathroom in the morning and feel your hands blow drying your hair, those are little things that add up to really big things. And that's improving the quality of your life. And that's why we're here. So I'm so happy for you. I absolutely will definitely have you on again. I appreciate you being on here tonight to share. And we want to hear all of the wonderful things that are happening with you for your reverse aging over the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, right? That compound effect. And so thank you very much, Sue, for being on here. And that's what Marcy's going to share with you guys next. She is a senior presidential director with this company. She's been with Lifewave for over 2 years. She has a miraculous testimony herself, but she is definitely going to share with you the science and the technology about this stem cell activation patch and how it could produce such what literally seemed like miraculous results in a short amount of time. So Marcy, would you come on here, please, and share with everybody how is this happening?
Yeah. I'm just amazed by April and Sue's testimonial. They really had quite different things happening to them. And so that just tells you that, these stem cells are going to turn into whatever cell your body needs for repair. And you can just hear it in the testimonial. Like, this is like, you can't make this stuff up, And so let me tell you what they're talking about. It's called X39, and it is your stem cell activation patches. And if you look at one, I know when my girlfriend gave me 10 2 years ago, I'm like, what do you do? Giving me Band-Aids? Like, really? Well, there's so much more. When you open them up and you look inside, you see the white circle? That's organic crystal. And it's made out of amino acids, sugar, and water. And it turns out that whatever your beliefs are, let's just say God created the sun. And it's gorgeous, right? The way it shines on us, and you go outside and you feel that light and you are alive, right? And the reason that is because it is reflecting back something called ultraviolet light, and it's elevating your vitamin D in your body very quickly because it's light. Okay. And here's the other crazy thing. Turns out that we also are like little suns walking around, right? And we know that to be truth because we all have a temperature. What are we, like 98.7? That's heat, right? Well, guess what heat is? It's a low-grade infrared light. So we're walking little suns around, okay? And what this patch is, it is a wearable light technology. I don't know if you guys can see it on my skin. And it's actually the light or heat of your own skin that activates it. So the sun does not need to activate it. We are activating it ourselves. And I just think that's so cool, right? And so what happens? Well, it activates a longer light wave. And that light wave is called that light wave activates in your body something called GHK copper peptide. And if you go Google that, you can go to pubmed.gov and search GHK copper peptide, because that's what gets activated in your blood. And you will find that is the holy grail of anti-aging. And one thing it does really, really good, and you heard it, it did it for April, it did it for Sue, is it acts as a telephone to your stem cells. And it says, hey, stem cells, it's time to start your army marching again. It's time to make more of you. And it's time to reset you to a younger, healthier state. And your stem cells are like, hey, thanks for the call. We're going to start working again. Well, why is that important? Well, for April and Sue, their stem cells really stopped working 50% at age 30. And they stopped working all the way at about age 60. So I'm not sure how old April and Sue are, but my guess is they're over 30, right? They're moving along. And so their stem cells before X39, they were really working it. And why is it important for stem cells to work? Well, I'm going to take you guys back on a journey. Okay. Remember when you were like 20? You remember those days? And you had that big bushy hair and it just kept growing, and you had the big bushy eyebrows. I had a unilevel and I was so skinny, even though I ate whatever I wanted. And it was just, my stem cells were working. And remember, we all had that one accident. For me, I was playing softball. My finger got caught on the wrong side of the mitt and the ball hit it. You guys remember, what was that for you? You're riding your bike, you fall. You're on a snowboard and you fall. You're skiing. You're just like walking in the rain and you slip. You know what I mean? We've all had something when we're young where we hurt ourselves. Do you remember how quick you repaired? I repaired in a couple days. That's because I had these blank pluripotent stem cells when I was 20, and they were turning into whatever cell my body needed for repair. Isn't that amazing that our bodies are created in an innate way where we are created, that we have certain cells in our body that can turn into whatever they need to be to repair us? That's kind of incredible when you really think about it, right? That's almost like superhero. I think we're all little superheroes, aren't we? So, right? And so when you're born with normal cells, and they can only be like one thing: your heart, your brain, your cartilage. For April, it was her nerves, her cartilage. For Sue, it could only be, her lower back and her knees and her cartilage and her tissues. And we're also born with these blank pluripotent stem cells that have the unique ability to turn in to whatever cell they need for repair. So interesting, they started wearing this patch, and what happened? That started to work again. And they started to go into repair. And April went into repair really fast because she had a lot to repair, you guys. Like literally, those cells turn into whatever cell your body needs for repair. And listen, I got chills listening to April's story. She had nodulars. Like they were like, you're lucky you're here right now because you are not, and you are, I'm going to be frank, quite honest, April, you're a mess, right? And she's like, I know. And so those stem cells are like, we got to get working on her and fast because we got to do what? We got to make her live, right? Because it's going to fix whatever you need to fix to live first. And then it's going to move to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So sometimes you'll notice something right away. Like a lot of people get a really nice 5-day supply. Isn't that nice of people, a gift of 5-day supply? And those 5-day supply, I would say 50% of people notice something right away. Sue noticed energy and clarity right away, right? But 50% of people don't. And that's because the stem cell is going to work on something that they need that they may not feel first, like an internal organ, maybe like the liver, which you really need to have detoxified to live. You don't always feel that. And then it's going to go to your knee pain. Talk to Bob Campbell. He had the worst knees ever. And it wasn't for like till month number 3 or 4 when his knees were pain free. Oh, month 7. Because I think that Bob had a lot of other things that needed to be fixed first, obviously. So just know that the owner of the company, David Schmidt, gives a nice 30-day money-back guarantee. So you can start with a sample, you can move into a nice package and know that you got time to let the stem cells work. And you know what? They're not even very expensive. When you hear the price of these, you're going to be like, are you kidding me? So how do you wear it? You wear it right below the back of your neck, underneath your belly button, or honestly, any spot will do. You can even wear more than one. I like to say, love your spot. There's only one rule, which is 12 hours on to activate and repair and 12 hours off. That's 12 hours on to activate and repair and 12 hours off. And the reason that is because we are light. We are a light signal. And if you wear it 24 hours a day over and over and over again, your body gets used to the light signal and it won't work. So you must take it on and off. So what do? You wear it for 12 hours on and then you throw it away. And then what do you do the next day? You get your little kit and you put another one on. It's really that easy. David Schmidt, the owner of the company, says this: when you put young stem cells on old tissue, you turn the tissue young again. We're not anti-aging, we're age reversing. And then because the man is amazing and he owns his own company and he's been around for 17 years, he's way ahead in this technology and nobody tells him what to do. He doesn't have shareholders that are like profit, profit, profit. Really, I think if you ask David what his mission for the company is, it would be, I want to live 250 years. And if you want to live that long too, well, join me. And if you don't, that's okay too, right? I'm like, I'm in, I'll take that. And he loves to research. That's why we have a 20-year patent on this product. And the patent says, yes, we activate GHK calprotectin in the blood and we stimulate stem cells. It's a 20-year patent. We have no competition. And then he loves to do research. We have about 100 research studies, about, 90 patents, 70 in regenerative medicine. And he said in June, and he's so cute because he's a researcher, right? He's not the business guy. He's a scientist. He's an inventor. He goes, well, it was really cool. I did this research study and I looked at 15 people and I measured their blood for markers of age. And then I put them on X39 for 6 months. And then I measured it again. And I found that 14 out of 15 people reduced their age and blood by 8 years. What? 8 years? We all were wondering why we were looking so much younger. We really do feel like our hair, our skin, we feel like we are reversing. But to have him actually do a study supporting that, it was really pretty cool. So know that the company is solid. We have been around for 17 years. We're in 81 countries. We have a facility in San Diego and one in Ireland. We have the ability to do $1 billion a month in volume, and we're fully vertically integrated, which means, are you ready for this? All these cool organic crystals are made in his lab. So if some of you guys have been around in California, I'm from California, you notice that we have the worst importing right now. We have boats in Long Beach just waiting to get in, right? I mean, it's a mess. Not us. We're fine because guess what? We're vertically integrated. David has everything in-house. Like, I think that's cool. And before X39, he was doing only about 50 million a year. But something happened 2 years ago. There was this great marriage between everybody knew they wanted to know more about stem cells. Nobody really understood what it was, but they wanted to know. And they all realized that light was real, that we could move with light fast changes in our body, much faster than like pharmaceuticals with side effects or even new supplements that you have to absorb in the colon. And with that, boy, has this company taken off. We're now over $300 million this year. And I'm really proud to be a part of that, a part of changing so many lives. So with that, if you would like to get some of these patches, get with the person who brought you here and say, hey, I want to try this X39 sleeve for a month at $149.95. That's a month supply or 30 days, 30 patches. Or I want to go on auto ship and be a customer. Your first sleeve will cost about $119, and then it will ship every month for $99.95. Yes, it's a lot cheaper than a $10,000 stem cell injection, isn't it? And you may want to do wholesale distributor pricing, which is the silver kit. I love that kit. It's $299. And in that kit, you get 3 X39s, and you can go on auto ship the next month for another X39. And the silver kit basically gets these for $99 a month. And then your auto ship is $99 the following month. This gives you enough product for yourself, your family, and even some to share. Shoot, you could get the silver kit, and it's like going to Nordstrom's or Home Depot for $2.99. You can fill it with whatever you want. And we love to start with X39. That is our flagship brand. That is the third generation best technology that he has developed. But there are some other cool patches as well. And you can trade out one X39 for 2 of other things. So a lot of people like 2 X39s, and Aeon for inflammation, and an Icewave to get rid of pain. And then they go on X39 auto ship the next month. And it's all light technology. And so that's really cool. So with that, get with the person who brought you here and let them know if you want to be a customer, a preferred customer, or get that silver kit for $2.99. But all I will say is make sure that you go on auto ship the following month so you keep activating. And know that we do have a really good money back guarantee. So there's absolutely no risk at all. For more information, you can also go to startx39.com. That's startx39.com. And there is some great videos. There's a great minute video on light, 3 minutes on stem cells. And David Schmidt does a great 15-minute video on X39, the technology and the issues it helps you with. You can go look at all the research under patents and research and just enjoy the website. There's tons of testimonials. Once again, yes, thank you, David. It's startx39.com. Lastly, this Saturday at 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern is our doctor call. It's a full hour, and it is Dr. John Harmon and Savvy Vargas. If you want to know more about the science, and Dr. Stacy, maybe you could tell us what that Zoom link is. You go to zoom.us, and the Zoom link is
the ID number is 379-717-7845.
Of course you have that memorized. I knew you would. So that's fantastic. So once again, that's Saturday. And so have a great evening. We do these calls Monday through Thursday. We always have a great training on Saturdays, always the same link to get in. And we thank you so much for coming tonight. Have a great evening and lots of love to all of you. Good night.
Night. Thank you, guys.
Very cool.
See ya.
Bye. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Awesome show. Awesome program.
Good night.
Thank you.